So we are out here planning a very large greenhouse. So we are very lucky and excited to let everybody know that we have received approval for a grant to grow more veggies to help support lower income through a couple organizations, but the Community Foundation up here in North Central Mass, and then also working very closely with local food works and growing places. So Local Food Works buys produce and has a grant to buy directly from local farmers up here in this region. And then they supply that produce in some of the local towns. So we are trying to figure out exactly what the location is, and as you can probably tell, that will mean changing our beautiful raised bed garden up. The hoop house that we put in, rock solid, huh? Pavement. Okay. So the hoop house that we put in for is 26 feet wide, as you can see here between the stakes, by 48 feet long. So what we're talking about right now is now that we kind of agreed on a potential location and made sure it's not going to block the whole driveway, we'll still be able to drive around the garage here. We're still going to keep our little DIY 12 by 16 hoop house, and then we're going to be moving a bunch of the raised beds. The goal is to add space and extend our growing season even more. So what's going to happen is this row, which is 4 of the 8-in-1s, it's like what we call the super long birdie's bed. It's 4 8-in-1s put together. This is a potential plan, so things may adjust. This is 27 feet long. It's going to go over here on this side. And our little road down to the lower lot is going to get just moved over a little bit through the raspberry patch here. And a couple of those little seedlings, saplings are going to come down. And we're going to basically be able to approach the road from here and then go down. So we're going to have a long, from the back of the greenhouse forward, will be the 27-foot bed, potentially. And then here in front of the DIY hoop house, we're going to put the next row, which is 4 of the 8-in-1s shorts. We're going to put 2 of those together and make a little extended bed here and there, framing the entrance to this hoop house and maybe switching the door to a sliding door, like barn style. This will give it so that the water, some of the water stuff we've already done, although we probably rerun it, will be right here and easy for the greenhouse. This will be a nice walkway area between no growing. Then, so that takes care of these 2 rows here. And then we have a row of 2 tall 8-in-1s and 1 9-in-1. The 9-in-1 is slightly smaller. I think the 8-in-1s are 6.5 feet by 3.5 feet or so. And the 9-in-1 is probably like 5 feet-ish. So we're going to have to move this row and this next row also, which gives us a total of 4 of the tall 8-in-1s and 2 of the 9-in-1s. And what we're going to do is over here, we're going to put another 8-in-1 tall here. And then we talked about extending out the tunnel and adding more cattle panels here and here. That will be 2 more 8-in-1s, talls. And then that leaves us with, what did I lose count? That leaves us with the 9-in-1s and 1 more 8-in-1 left. So on the back side, I think we said we would add one. Let me walk back there. And then we talked about maybe putting a row here, but we're not sure yet. But coming around the back, this is a little 6-in-1. This doesn't have to get moved, but we may want to adjust this one, not sure yet. So coming around back, we've got these 2 9-in-1s here that we'll need to move.
We could put a 9-in-1. I don't know if it makes sense. I would say you could put a 9-in-1 here and take this out, but
yeah,
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, ignore this stake. That's going away. The hoop house will come back to somewhere over here. No, it's over that way more. You sure? That's the wrong row. We need to be that way. It should be over there.
I don't.
Wrong row. I don't know if we have.
We changed it.
We kept changing it. Yeah.
So it's over here somewhere.
Yeah, it's in that general.
Perfect here. So it's like here.
Yeah. So the hoop house will go back to there. There's 2 8-foot barn doors on each side, sliding doors on each side of this hoop house. So will be easy access here and on the front there. This is south side. So over here, that means that we would probably switch out the 6-in-1 would be my guess, because and we put another 8-in-1 here, I think, for 3 8-in-1s in a row. And that makes this row 4 8-in-1s.
That would be fine.
And then, because 1 8-in-1 here.
It would be 3 8-in-1s.
No, there's an 8-in-1 on the other side that we're going to add. So it'd be, yep. So, and then over behind here, we still want to make sure we can drive back here if possible. So maybe we move the 6-in-1 over a little bit. And then we still have these 2 9-in-1s. And maybe we put some of these into the actual hoop house for some high level growing area that we could do sweet potatoes or something like that in there, which wouldn't be bad, and extend the sweet potato season. So that's the tentative. Whiskey barrels would go. Mums are going. We're not sure if we're actually going to be able to do mums next year now, because this is taken on quite a bit. But we're really excited and about the grant. But it's going to be a ton of work, and the gardens are going to look totally different if we do this. We have over 17 acres here in North Central Mass, Zone 5B. But as you can tell, almost all of that is wooded. So this is the best sunny location, which is why we chose the gardens here. And over there, we'd have to take some pretty big trees down, and that really big tree here is actually on our neighbor's property. So not as easy to deal with. So that's kind of what we're thinking, but I think this is actually not a bad plan.
It's a big undertaking.
Yeah.
But let's do the work now and do it the way we want it versus just find a spot that may not be ideal. So we really don't have any flat area on this property. We can just drop a greenhouse. A lot of farmers do, but we don't.
Yep. But the good thing about moving all these small ones and focusing on this half of the garden versus that half was that these should be a lot easier to potentially move. And then we actually already have some soil in here. These tall ones, we did hugelkultur, which is like that lasagna technique you might have seen, where we layered some old down logs and things like that in these beds. So getting these up with the supports in them or whatever, it would be a really labor intensive work. So to have to do all of those tall beds would be a lot. So I'm hopeful that by choosing these smaller beds, we might be in better shape. We've talked about putting a couple beds back here too, but we're not sure. We do need to put a door in the back of this greenhouse, especially if we put beds on the other side, just for ease of access. So that's the big news, and we're again really excited. The kit that we're put in for the grant does have a solar feature on it, so it will have automatic door opens, or sorry, not doors, side roll-up sides will automatically open, and the vents that we got with it will also open based on temperature and wind, which is fantastic. So more to come. We'll keep talking about this stuff, but that was kind of some big news to share. We're nervous, we're excited, and it's also kind of daunting. And here we are at the very end of September, and the garden's actually still doing pretty good. We haven't had any frost yet. The weather for the next week looks like we won't have frost yet. Things have slowed down with the less sunlight, but for the most part, like, our peppers are still going even out here. Sweet potatoes are still going out here. And here in another about 2 to 3 weeks, we will start harvesting this whole bed of carrots. From a mum's situation, we've sold most of them. At this point, these Harvest Moons are pretty much not sellable, so that's kind of gone by. And the pumpkin igloos, which are these orange daisies, are at a point where they're kind of flopping over because they've been open so much and they're so heavy. So they're not really as sellable. We've got a few that are still good, but most of them, the winds from Hurricane Lee really knocked them around. And then the last 3 in the back there that are tall, that's all we have left on the jack-o'-lanterns, which are the orange, yellow, and reds. So pretty happy with that as well. So we'll continue to update you guys, and really appreciate all the positive thoughts as we try to tackle this huge project over the next 6-8 months. We got winter coming, so we'll do some prep work before, then we'll do tons of work in the spring. But wish us luck. This is going to be a fun journey, and hopefully you guys want to watch us as we do these big projects here. And I'll start talking a little bit more about selling produce. There's a training certification that we're getting here in another month or 2 for what's called FSMA, which is the food safety. And so that will allow us to sell to third parties and things like that. We are now a registered farm in Massachusetts, so I got that done. And we've made enough revenue this year to be a farm according to the IRS standards. So that's all in the works. So yeah, lots going on, but really pretty exciting times here up on Flicker Hill. And with that, I hope you all have a wonderful fall, and we'll try to continue to do harvest videos, especially the sweet potatoes. That was a favorite last year, I think one of our biggest videos, but as well as the carrots and a few others. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and are enjoying watching our journey, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel.